Hey fam, close the tabs. What does that mean? Well, when it comes to just daily life, we are constantly inundated with a constant barrage of information through social media, through our jobs, through family, through friends, through our own shit, whether that's watching stuff and constantly inputting stuff, constantly scrolling, inputting. All of that equates to our minds being full. When your mind is full, you cannot make good decisions, and it's really hard to think through certain problems that you may have in your life. I came up with this idea of closing the tabs. Just like when you're on a computer and maybe you're researching something, maybe you went down a rabbit hole and you decided to check something about flat earth theory and you're just interested in that. I'm just making that up because you can go down a deep rabbit hole. I've done it before, even though I don't believe it. It's still fascinating how people still believe it. So, kind of went down the rabbit hole in studying it. And you'll open up a bunch of tabs. Maybe you have certain programs running in the background, Microsoft Word to take notes. Maybe you have a Excel document as well, and you start noticing that your computer is slowing down. As you open more tabs, everything takes a little longer to load. You constantly get the loading ring of death and you start figuring out what is going on. I need to close some stuff, but there's so much happening and I have all this data. What do I do with it? Same thing happens with our brain. Your brain can break. You have too much going on. You have a lot of things to think through, a lot of decisions to make. When all of that is happening, you start making the wrong decisions. You start lashing out at people maybe because there's just so much going on and you need a moment to close the tabs. I made a video some time ago, and in that video, it was just an hour of me just sitting down with nothing. No distraction, no phone, no TV, no sound, no music, nothing. And that was a moment, and I highly recommend checking it out and just sitting there, and at least you have something in the background. I put some background music to help as well. Just focus, just think, and close those tabs. Maybe with a notebook so that you can write down, like, okay, I found the answer to this. I know I need to do this, and I know I need to do that. And maybe and most of it is all little stuff. Most of it is little stuff. It's like you'll go into the bathroom while you're in the middle of the workday and maybe remember, oh, I gotta shave, or I need to buy a new tube of toothpaste, or I need, you go into your fridge and you're like, I'm running low on milk, I'm running low on eggs, and little things that are taking up space. And this is why one of the things I use the most, I'm using my phone to record this, so one of the things I'm using the most is reminders app. Thank God for technology, because even though it can be our worst enemy, it can also be our greatest ally. What I do is I say, hey Siri, remind me XYZ. Whatever that is, if I have a thought and I can't do it in that moment in less than 2 minutes, then you make sure to record that and do it when you can. And sometimes I'll write the reminder in, I'll put it in my notes if it's a long-term thing or like an idea for a video. There's always somewhere to put it, so it's not in here. You cannot trust your brain. Same thing with listening to things. If I'm listening to a podcast, I have to take notes or else I won't remember shit from the podcast. So whatever you do and you think, when you have that moment like, oh, that's interesting, write it down, put it somewhere, because you won't remember it. The reason why it's so interesting to you, because maybe you want to implement it or you want to talk to a friend about it because they're struggling through an issue. Maybe you're listening to a podcast, watching a TV show, and they said something that stuck out and you can share it with them. Maybe that can help them on their life journey. So what I'd say is take some time. I recommend anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes a day of just sitting in silence and closing the tabs. Take time to just see through. You read whatever you got to read on a computer, right? And then you get the notes you need, you copy them into a document, you close that tab, and you continuously do that. If you do it every day, by the end of the week, you won't have as many tabs. You won't be inundated with them by the weekend, where you just spend the weekend just wallowing in despair, procrastinating, and not getting anything done. And then you won't have time to rest and relax. So just make sure you take some time, close the tabs. All right? Until tomorrow, y'all. Peace.